All right, let's get right into it. We're going to unpack the incredible story of a company that has, seemingly out of nowhere, completely shaken up the global auto industry. We are, of course, talking about BYD, and their rise is truly one for the history books. Take a look at this number, 4.27 million. And get this, that's not their total sales over a decade. That's the number of new energy vehicles they sold in just one single year. That's the kind of number that makes the entire auto industry sit up and pay very close attention. Now, what's really fascinating is how they're doing it. You see, while pretty much every other major player was betting the farm on pure electric vehicles, BYD zagged. They were guided by this core belief that perfecting hybrid technology wasn't just a stepping stone, it was the optimal solution for our energy future. And that really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. How on earth did a company that got its start making rechargeable batteries for cell phones become this global automotive titan? Well, let's find out. To really get BYD, you've got to go back, way back to the beginning, to its roots as a humble battery company with a seriously bold vision. So, it all started back in 1995, founded by Wang Chuanfu. And that name, BYD, it's not just some random letters. It stands for Build Your Dreams, and that philosophy seems to be woven into the DNA of every single thing they do. And, they weren't the only ones who saw what was coming. Way back in 2008, long before most of us had even heard of BYD, the one and only Warren Buffett invested big. He later gave all the credit to his brilliant partner Charlie Munger for spotting this diamond in the rough. So what's their secret sauce? How do they pull this off? Well, a huge piece of the puzzle is a strategy that gives them almost complete, total control over every single part of making a car. It's a strategy called vertical integration. The idea itself is pretty simple, but it is incredibly powerful. Basically, you own everything. Instead of relying on hundreds of different suppliers for parts, you just make it all yourself. And BYD takes this concept to a whole other level. I mean, it's not just that they make their own batteries. They design and manufacture their own complex semiconductor chips, the brains of the car. And it's not just cars. They're building entire urban transit systems. And get this, they are literally building their own fleet of giant cargo ships to deliver their cars all over the world. Think about that. In an age where supply chains are constantly breaking, they just sidestep the entire problem. It gives them an unbelievable advantage. Okay, so that's pillar number one, total control. Pillar number two, it's all about relentless, game-changing technology. Because owning the supply chain is one thing, but what you actually do with it, that's everything. Take battery safety, for example. It's probably the biggest hang-up for anyone thinking about buying an EV. So what did BYD do? They created what the industry calls the Mount Everest of battery tests. A trial so brutal it could completely redefine what safety even means. So when they took a nail and drove it straight through their special blade battery, what happened? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. No smoke, no fire, the surface temperature barely got warm. It also survived being crushed, bent, and literally baked at 300 degrees Celsius. I mean, that's the kind of performance that builds some serious trust. And don't think this innovation is a one-trick pony. They're absolute masters of two different worlds. On one hand, you have these unbelievably efficient hybrid vehicles, and on the other, you have these incredibly advanced, built from the ground up all-electric platforms. And this is where things get kind of mind-blowing. Check this out. Their latest hybrid can go 2,100 kilometers on a single tank of gas and a full charge. That doesn't just blow past a typical EV, that's almost triple what you get from a regular gasoline car. That is a total game changer. And remember that whole vertical integration thing? Well, it even applies to the brains of the operation. By making their own crucial power chips, these things called IGBTs that control the electricity, they can innovate at a pace that is just staggering. They don't have to wait for anyone.
But here's the thing. To really understand what drives BYD, you have to realize it's about so much more than just cars.
This is their mission statement, their North Star. And it's not just some slick marketing slogan they cooked up. It shapes everything they do. Their vision is so much bigger. They see a future where their solar panels are generating the power, their energy storage systems are holding it, and their electric vehicles are using it. It's a full circle, a complete, self-sustaining, clean energy ecosystem.
And these aren't just fuzzy dreams either. They've put hard deadlines on this stuff. They're aiming to slash their carbon intensity in half by 2030. And get this, they want to be totally carbon neutral across their entire supply chain by 2045. For a manufacturer of this size, that is wildly ambitious.
And remember that name, Build Your Dreams? It's not just about building tech. They're investing in people too. They've set up a massive 3 billion yuan educational fund to help cultivate the next generation of science and technology talent. Okay, so things are looking pretty amazing for BYD, right? Well, it's not all smooth sailing. As they expand around the world, they're running into some serious challenges. On one side, you have this massive global ambition. I mean, their goal is for half of all their sales to be outside of China by 2030. But on the other side, they're sailing straight into some major geopolitical headwinds. We're talking huge tariffs in markets like Europe and North America, fierce competition from legacy automakers, and a super complex web of trade policies they have to navigate. Their path to global dominance is definitely not a walk in the park. So when you put it all together, the extreme control, the relentless innovation, and this huge mission-driven purpose, you realize BYD is a whole new kind of industrial giant. And their story, it's about way more than just cars. It forces us all to ask a much bigger question. In a world where supply chains seem to be breaking all the time, is this total control model the future of how everything gets made?